So in Spanish, we have diminutives, and it's a way to take a noun, you change it up, and you make it smaller. Well, what does this look like? Well, there are a couple different ways to do it, and one is you can either add ito, or you could add ita, right? Because we have to remember masculine, feminine, singular, plural to all of these things. Or we could add illo, or ia. We could add cito, or cio, so you can see that it's kind of the same. Or we can come over here and we could add a cito, masculine, feminine, singular, plural, or a cio, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. So when do we use these? Well, the most common one is going to be ito or io, and we can add that to most nouns. So let's just get right to it and look at a few examples. If you had something like a piece of paper, or maybe you had a car, a dog, maybe a little sister, and you could even do this to names. And so all you do is you're going to come over here, and we're going to take either ito or io. Like maybe in this instance, we're going to take io, and we would have a papelillo, which would be a little piece of paper. Because again, our goal is to make our noun smaller. So we have paper, little paper. Or I have a car, and I want a little car. I'd have a carrito. I've got a dog, but I physically have a small dog. Maybe my wife wanted a really small dog, and she's like, "Oh, can we get a perrito?" And I would say, "No, we need to get a real dog." So you take perro, and you gotta change it up a little bit, right? And you're gonna get perrito. You're basically inserting this suffix, right? Hermana, my little sister, hermanita. And so these are all ways to just say little or small, just by changing up the noun. Now we can also do it that instead of being smaller, we can make it a term of endearment. Right? We use terms of endearment to show a close relationship with someone. So if someone's name is Nicolas, which is a good name, right? You could transform this Nicolasito, which could mean one of two things. It could be like, "Oh, look, there's little Nicholas running around the house." Or you could say, "Hola, Nicolasito, how are you?" Like, you know me really well. Well, you don't know me really well because you're on the internet. Maybe you know me, I don't know. Now, I've used ito for a lot of these just because that's what I'm used to. That's what sounds right to me. And unfortunately, a lot of times, it's just what sounds right. You always hate that. Don't you want a rule for this? No, just say no to rules. Who needs rules? Just because it sounds right. Alright, second set. So we're going to look at times. When are we going to use cito or cio? Now, we're going to use these, again, adding it to a noun, when we have nouns of more than one syllable that end in n, r, or e. So let's just put up a few examples right here. Right, we've got a pintor, a painter, and we've got some jamon, some ham, and we've got hombre. Hombre. What? Hombre. Alright, and so, oh man, look, he's like a little painter. And so this ends in an R. It's more than one syllable, so pintor, cio. Done. Little painter. Or jamon, like jamon serrano. If you ever get to Spain, make sure you get some jamon serrano. So you could get some ham, but maybe you're going to bed and you don't want a big snack. I'll just take a little jamoncito. So how did I know I needed cito? It ended in an N, more than one syllable. Or you've got an hombre. Ah, look at him. He's just a little man. He's an hombrecito. Ends in an E, more than one syllable. And so we can either add cio or cito. Let's add, I don't know, let's add cio. Hombre, cio. Done. Now Now you want to be careful because any of these, well, I don't know about jamoncito, right? But these can all be offensive. This goes with all diminutives. All diminutives, if you use them in the wrong context, can be offensive. Like if you're like, oh man, he's a terrible painter. He's like a pintorcito. Or he's like an hombrecito. Like, oh, he thinks he's a big man, but he's not. So you just have to kind of just, feel it out. Again, I could give you a rule, but language isn't about rules. Well, until it's test time, then it's about rules. Okay, and then finally, we have acito and acio. And we add this to one-syllable words that end in a consonant. So over here was more than one syllable. Here it's just one syllable. So we could have something like, some bread, or a flower. That's feminine. Don't forget, la flor. That's masculine. El pan. And so can you just pass me a little piece of bread? One syllable. Ends in a consonant. Panecillo. One syllable. Ends in a consonant. So maybe this time we'll add this. Florecito. But remember, it's feminine. Florecita. Literally means small flower. There you go. Diminutives. It's a way to take a noun and make it smaller or show some endearment. Will this work every single time? No. Why? Well, I don't know. It's language. If you wanted something to work every single time, there's a class for people like you. It's called math class. Every single time it'll work out, but I don't know. Maybe ambiguity is good in life. Suerte.